Up next on Awesome Toy Reviews, we get our hands on the brand new LEGO Saturn V Apollo 11 moon rocket.
Awesome Toy Reviews.
I am fascinated by space exploration, so when I heard that LEGO was releasing a model of the Saturn V rocket, I was compelled to buy my first LEGO set. Let's go pick it up. Okay, here I am outside of my local LEGO store dealer, and it's the toy building zone, and inside they have play areas where you can build LEGO sets, and of course they carry a wide selection of LEGO products. So we're gonna go in and check out and see if they got it in stock. From my understanding, they got it pre-release before the actual June launch. Okay, so here it is. It's huge. It's here in the LEGO Ideas section, so these other sets here were created by fans. So you got Beatles' Yellow Submarine, you got a Doctor Who set, and here, the Apollo series Saturn V rocket. It's awesome. Can't wait to get it back to the studio and put her together.
Toy Building Zone has been a fixture at a local factory outlet mall for a number of years. In addition to being a local LEGO dealer, they offer party packages and classes in building with LEGO. BlackBerry is also a local company, so it seems fitting that there's a large LEGO handheld device on display.
So these guys got lots of models, have been built full-size models, really cool action figures that decorate around the store. How do we size up? Did you ever want a wallpaper of LEGO? I never thought a selfie stick would come in handy until now. So here I am, inside a mummy suit. So this isn't a regular LEGO product. It was conceived by LEGO enthusiasts and submitted to a LEGO fan forum for other enthusiasts around the world to vote on, and the most popular are picked by a team at the LEGO company to be turned into an official product. When creators Felix Stisson and Valerie Roche released their design of this model in August of 2014, they noted that it marked the 45th anniversary of the Apollo 11 moon landing. It took a little over a year to reach 10,000 supporters on the LEGO Ideas website before they were finally approved to become a real official LEGO release in June of 2016. At that point, LEGO in-house designers Michael Psyche and Carl Thomas Merriam took over the task of adapting the fan design into a model that qualified for mass production. So let's get started on the build. Okay, so I've already opened up the ends. But here is the unboxing. So this is my first LEGO set. And there it is. 1,969 pieces. I have no idea how long this is going to take me. So right off the bat, the instruction book looks great. Really thick, looks like a store catalog. So there's the build process. So if I just flip to the back, so it looks like it's saying there's roughly 337 steps to put it all together, including the stands. So, oh, nice. They got a little bit of history in here. Very, very nice. Look at that. Timeline. LEGO designers. So these are the actual guys from LEGO that actually put together the actual design. And this is a little bit of a write-up about the LEGO fans who actually created the original design for the model. And it's even in French. Look at that. Oh, the whole section, yeah, the whole section here in French. Now it looks like Spanish. We got multiple languages. Isn't that nice? So once again, as I said, I'm a LEGO newbie, and so this is all very new to me. Maybe it's old hat for some other LEGO fans, but I've never seen anything quite like this before. And here it is telling me how to actually build the actual model. And there we go. So a very nice book that they've put out. And once again, here we go. So each bag is actually numbered. So 4, 7, all nicely set up there. That's what it's going to take to put together this model. We'll be taking everything that come out of this box here, and there's the back. The contents of the box was all of this. So in a minute here, I'll be getting the instruction book open, and I assume we'll be starting with bag number 1. This is what I hate about small pieces. So you can lose them, they get everywhere, hard to locate. So here's a trick I learned in the Navy. Get a small bowl, put everything in. Good for small screws when you're taking apart something. I've already just lost another piece there and shooting off the table. So there we go. Here's the solution for small pieces. Put it in a little bowl here, then they won't go flying everywhere. Okay, so this is the first section of the rocket. 12 steps to put all these parts together, and there's well over 300 steps to build a complete rocket. So in my estimation, it's going to take 8 to 9 hours to put together this whole model. Okay, so it looks like I've built one portion of one module, and based on the book here, it looks like I'm building, with the remaining parts I have here, another smaller module. So it appears I've done something wrong. I have to take these little pieces off here and put them here. This is about the 3rd time that I've slightly misplaced a part. So even with instructions, if you're not fully paying attention, and it can get a little overwhelming after a while, it's kind of like putting together a piece of IKEA furniture. You find that you're 3/4 of the way through the process and you bung something up about 10 steps ago that affect another portion of the thing that you're building. Looks like I completed both sections from the bag number 1, and it actually is telling me that this actually will mount on top of here. It's amazing how many pieces get buried inside, interesting pieces get buried inside that you're probably no longer ever going to see again. Other than these smooth cylindrical border pieces, it still looks very much like typical Lego building blocks. There's a few pieces of articulated pieces of interest here, but for the most part, it doesn't really look much different. Not too finished, anyways, compared to what the final model is going to look like. So now we're on to bag number 2. Everybody remembers who's worked with Lego, getting 2 pieces sandwiched together. Typically, if you wedge these 2 together, then close it down tight, you'd be at a real loss to get them apart. You'd be getting out a sharp knife and you'd be cutting your finger. But they give you this little tool here to grab onto certain parts of the Lego and pry off. You'd wedge it this way, and so that was included in the first bag. You have to give it to the Lego engineers and the manufacturing process that they're able to do this and bag up all the individual pieces and have everything that you actually need without being lost for a piece. How they actually have that kind of quality control is beyond me. It'd be interesting to find out. I'm working on the second bag right now, but I forgot to point out that to build this section right here took me just a little over half an hour. So somewhere between 7 to 9 hours is what I estimate to build this model. Bag number 3. Now it's even looking more like something. You can actually hold it this way, and you can imagine if it was displayed on its stands, you could have the whole length of the model coming out like this. So there we go. And in this section here, you can see where it's like a little booster rocket is right in there. Bag 4. Now that I've got this section here complete, it's making a nice hollow here, which I expect will be another stage of the rocket. Bag number 5. So that completes now bag number 5. We definitely got a lower section complete here. We're about to now work on bag number 6, which is going to put the actual rocket nozzles on the end. Bag number 7. I've now completed this much of the second module, and this actually brings me up to about the halfway point in the total build. Bag 8. So there is locking mechanisms, but these pieces pop out. Not exactly sure how this is supposed to fit. There is locking mechanisms in here to actually hold it together, so I can pick it up from the top portion here and it holds together nicely. But once you lock it in position, these little pieces here pop out because of the pressure. There's a little piece right there that's supposed to be one section down. So I'll take those out. So now I've moved this piece that would be here down one section. That's why it's so critical to follow the instructions perfectly, but it's not always obvious. So now with that piece down, it's not going to interrupt as the second stage docks with the first stage. It locks beautifully now. The pieces don't pop out, and I can actually hold her sideways, and it's holding totally in place. Might even risk going upside down here. Yep, there we go. And when you want to have fun and have the second stage come off from the first stage, it just pops out. So it's just locking in with these little receptors, shafts right there that just kind of lock into place. So there we go. First stage, second stage complete. We're on to bag number 10. So there we are with the second stage complete, and now it can just fit in there nicely. And it's got the locking bolts, and away it goes. So now we're moving on to bag 11, the second last bag. We got the first stage, second stage, third stage. It will lock into the second stage. It's as simple as just placing it in, wait for it to click, and there it is. Once I have these two components together, I can put this section together too. Wait for the click, and there we go. Starting to really look like something. Now finally, bag 12. I've actually completed the main part of the rocket. Still have a few more pieces to build, but there is the Saturn V Apollo 11 rocket, and it's looking pretty good. Okay, now comes the cool part. They have these microfigures, and when they say micro, they really mean it. Getting these little astronauts down to scale, no mean feat. And you get one too many for the mission. It was a 3-man mission, but I do have a whole bowl here of parts that don't fit. So potentially, I just got an extra astronaut, and in the bowl he goes. Here we got the lunar module, and you have Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, who landed on the surface. The third guy, where does he belong? He belongs up in the orbiter, leaving Michael Collins to float around in the lunar orbiter to wait for the two others to come back and redock and return to Earth. So now that I've finished the stands, I can put the rocket on display. So this impressive recreation of NASA's moon mission rocket features 3 separate stages. As well, there's the lunar lander and the return capsule. This allows you to act out all major steps of the launch, moon landing, and splashdown back on Earth. Each section of the Saturn V rocket can be displayed horizontally on their own stand or assembled in launch-ready vertical position. Standing 1 meter tall, this 39-inch model is 1/10 scale, so it's over 100 times smaller than the real rocket it's modeled after. The real Saturn V rockets that were in operation for 13 missions from 1967 to 1973 were 363 feet tall, 33 feet in diameter, and 103 feet in circumference. So how does this scale compare to real life? Well, typical die-cast metal cars, like those created by Hot Wheels and Matchbox, are 1:43 scale. So this Lego model is over 3 times smaller than the real thing in comparison to this die-cast car. Once you get to the moon, you get 3 microfigure astronauts to pose and play with. They aren't articulated like regular-sized Lego characters. But at this scale, I'm glad that the microfigures were able to be included at all. Ranking the human-rated launch systems in size, the Atlas LV-55 was the first to launch John Glenn into orbit aboard a Mercury capsule. Titan II launched 20 men into space on 10 missions aboard a two-seater Gemini capsule between 1964 and 1966. The Russians introduced the impressive Soyuz rocket with over 900 successful missions since 1966. From 1981 to 2011, the US ran the shuttle program capable of carrying 6 astronauts at a time into low Earth orbit. The current Falcon 9 rocket from SpaceX is next on our list, capable of carrying up to 7 passengers into low orbit, and finally, the monstrous Saturn V rocket with enough power to launch 3 astronauts and their support vehicles to the moon on 12 successful missions between 1967 and 1973. This model is based on the Apollo 11 mission, which carried the first crew to land on the moon, July 20th, 1969. So guess how many pieces are in this set? Well, I told you before, so if you guessed 1,969, you'd be correct. Now, I'm a Lego building novice, and I've never made anything with Lego that resembled anything more than a stack of brightly colored bricks. So it took me 7 hours to complete this model. I'm really pleased to have added this to my collection. I have been tempted by other licensed Lego products like Ghostbusters and the Yellow Submarine, but adding this to my space collection is beyond awesome.